Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Bucket List Mom. My name's Elizabeth and we are back for another weekly update. This is update number 16, so I have been on the carnivore diet for 15 full weeks as of today, which is super exciting. And so before I get into the video, I have a lot to share with you this week, so I'm going to talk kind of fast to not make this video super long, but a lot went down and a lot has happened, and so I really need to address everything and kind of talk about where I'm at with stuff. But before I get into the video too far, there's a couple of things I just wanted to mention. One of them is that my husband and I have been mentioning this the last couple of videos, are going to do an interview of him because he hit his 1-year mark on the carnivore diet. We also want to do a separate video that's kind of like a carnivore Q&A, and so we want to know what your questions are. Do you have anything that you want to know? Things that you would want to ask him from someone who's been on it a year? So anything and everything you can think of, please comment it down below. Let us know because we're going to be making that really soon and I want to get that video out to you guys. Also, I wanted to say and just kind of acknowledge you guys, I have some really knowledgeable carnivore people watching my videos, and I love when you guys comment. All of you are just such beautiful people, and you leave just such awesome, positive, uplifting comments, so I really appreciate that. This has been such a nice experience because you guys are so sweet and you make it so pleasant. But some of you are really knowledgeable, and I mean way more so than I am, and so I really do love and appreciate your comments that you put down there because some things are just super helpful as I learn as I go through this process. So I really appreciate that, and I just wanted to acknowledge that and put that out there. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And I also wanted to mention that my videos are like a couple of weeks ahead. So I'm always like 4 or 5 videos ahead, and so whatever you're seeing happened like a couple of weeks ago. So whenever I'm like responding to your comments, like we're kind of past that a lot of the time, and I'm responding to stuff that happened a while ago, which is totally cool. I just, if you're seeing anything like, why isn't she, you know, I told her that or whatever and I haven't responded or like addressed it yet in the video, it's because that's coming kind of probably in an upcoming video. So sometimes it's kind of a weird process that, you know, I'm further along in the diet and losing weight than what is showing live on my channel. But anyway, that's what's happening for that. And then one more thing I wanted to mention and address is that some of you guys have been asking me for a video of like, what am I actually eating? What does the carnivore diet actually look like? Like, what do you eat day to day? And I've been telling you, like, yes, I want to make that video for you. What I have been finding, I was about to make it a few weeks ago, and what I have been finding is that how I was doing the diet the first couple of months is really not working for me anymore at this point. I'm getting too hungry and I'm getting too weak, and I don't feel like I have all my stuff sorted out. So I'm going to be addressing that a lot more in this video. I just wanted to say I'm just not quite ready to make it for you yet. One thing is that I never want to get on here and just fake it or pretend like, oh my gosh, the carnivore diet is so wonderful and I'm losing all this weight and I feel so great and everything. If that's true, then fantastic, but I'm nothing if I'm not real and honest with you. So I really want to capture like what losing weight actually looks like, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what this journey looks like. And it is a journey, and I'm learning as I go, and I'm definitely not an expert. I'm learning all kinds of things as I go. So if something's not working or I had a rough week or whatever, like I'm going to get on here and I'm going to be honest about it. And I'm going to tell you what went down. And so I'm just not quite ready to make a video on, yes, I'm eating this way and it's doing so great and I feel like I'm being really successful because I recently had to shift some things up, and so I'm kind of giving myself a couple more weeks to see if that made a difference so that I can kind of give you a more full picture. But since you guys have been asking, I will tell you kind of what I am eating. I literally have tried like every kind of meat. I've tried a lot of stuff. So my husband has done this for the past year almost exclusively on steak, eggs, and hamburger meat. I mean, that's his main staples of what he eats. A lot of eggs and a lot of red meat. He deviates occasionally, but that's the bulk of it. And for me, like, hamburger meat is not super exciting. It's not my favorite, and I have trouble with the toughness of some of the steaks because I like them super well done. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later, but so I have felt like I needed to have like all kinds of different varieties. So I have tried literally everything. I've tried seafood, so I do salmon, I do shrimp, sometimes I've tried scallops, big and little. I've tried full lobster, I've tried lobster tails. I will do the red meats, so I'll do hamburger meat. We have made them into hamburger patties. We've ground them up with liver and made like little liver hamburger meatballs or patties. We've boiled the hamburger and made like a hamburger soup where all the fats kind of like stay in the broth, so if I drink that, I'm getting my fats in. I'll do cuts of like filet mignon. I've been recently experiencing with different cuts of steak steaks, so bigger portions of steaks. Obviously I do a bunch of eggs every single day. I usually fry them. A lot of times I'll have like a big container of hard-boiled eggs in my fridge at all times, so if I'm, you know, crashing or feeling really weak, I can grab those fast. I've done turkey, ground turkey, turkey burgers. I do cans of tuna with like a little bit of mayo mixed in, dip it in some pork rinds. I do a lot of butter. I've done some beef roasts. I can put things in the crock pot really easily, so I'll put beef roast in the crock pot and kind of eat on it all week. I'll put chicken in the crock pot. It's about the only way I kind of cook my chicken, with like Frank's hot sauce, so it's kind of like a buffalo chicken crock pot thing. So I think that's the main bulk of what I'm eating. It does add a lot of variety. However, I am kind of transitioning my diet right now. I felt like I was eating way too many lean meats. I was doing a lot of tuna, a lot of crock pot chicken, and a lot of ground turkey burgers, and kind of staying away too much from like the red meats, and I don't feel like I'm getting enough fat in, which is one of the things I knew was going to be trouble for me on the carnivore diet, is that I really don't like fatty cuts of meat. I have a lot of trouble eating the fat. It just grosses me out. So I knew this was something that I was going to need to pay particular attention to, and I got too stuck in the rut of like eating the non-fatty meats. So there's definitely more of like a progression happening. I'm definitely transitioning in the type of meats that I can handle and things like that. So I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit more too. And so that video will be coming out for you guys once I feel like I've really nailed down this diet and I'm doing something that works, where I have energy, where I feel full, where I don't feel weak, where I feel like I know kind of what I'm doing. I still really don't quite feel like I have a great grasp on it. So I will be making that video in a couple of weeks once I see if this kind of new way I'm kind of eating and doing it, if that's going to be a little bit more successful for me. All right, you guys, let's get into the actual video a little bit more so I lost 2 pounds this week. That happened right at the beginning of the week, like literally the day after I made the last update, and I dropped 2 pounds, which was super exciting. And then it has gone back up. So it went back up 4 pounds, kind of like near the end of this week. So I'm about where I was last week. I still am around like 27 or 28 pounds. I have not officially hit the 30 pounds lost mark yet. I came really close, within a couple of ounces, but I have not hit it yet. So I'm kind of disappointed about that, because I'm halfway through the month and I would really like to see some weight loss happening, but a lot went down this week. I kind of had a really rough week, I'll be honest. I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks in my updates now, of just, I'm not feeling super great. I'm not feeling super right. I don't feel well completely. I'm having trouble with my energy levels, trouble with feeling kind of weak, trouble with feeling hungry still, and really needing to figure out how to get a grasp on that and how to do this successfully so that I'm not like feeling that way. And so I've been considering all kinds of different options of, you know, what do I need to do to make this diet successful for me? And so I've been feeling that for a while. I literally, not only am I not really able to exercise, even just the chores of the house have been kind of hard to even keep up with. And so I'll do like one really simple chore every single day, and I have to break up, instead of like just cleaning, you know, the whole upstairs or something like I normally would do. It's like I have to do one tiny thing each day, and then some days I don't even have the energy to do that. So that has sucked a lot. It's very hard to live with. I need this diet to at least be somewhat functional for me. And I'm also getting kind of stuck in this feeling of not wanting to leave my house, because I feel weak, and I'm scared to be away from my house and away from my food and away from everything. And I'm really spending a lot of the day thinking about my food, thinking about this diet, preparing food, trying to get enough food in. It's becoming a lot more constant of a thing. And so that's where I was at kind of at the beginning of this week. And then I had an event occur where I woke up about halfway through this week and I felt just really icky the whole day. Weak. No matter how much I ate, I was weak and hungry. So I literally spent the whole day preparing the food, eating it, preparing food, eating it. And so I ate the whole day, like really trying to get full and eating a lot of butter and eating a lot of salt and really trying to get all that in. And then that night hit, we were just about to go to bed. We were up like playing a game, and all of a sudden my blood sugar just really like crashed. And I don't typically have blood sugar issues. I don't have diabetes. My blood sugar doesn't typically crash. I've experienced that, you know, a couple times in my life, but not often. And it felt really awful. Definitely kind of gave me pause. I don't want that to happen again. And so I really had to kind of stop and think about it. That was kind of scary. Felt kind of desperate. And the next day I was like, okay, what changes do I need to make? So that night I actually ate some salmon, because that's what we had in the fridge, ready to warm up really quick. I ate some slices of cheese, some cheddar cheese. And then I also had like a handful of almonds, which I know is not technically carnivore, but it was like my body really like asked for almonds specifically. And I was like, you know what, then I'm gonna eat a handful of almonds. And oh my gosh, it made me feel way better. The almonds really, really helped. It's like I've never tasted something so amazing. It was so good. And so the next day I was like, okay, what do I need to maybe change up to make this more successful? Do I need like almond butter on hand to have like a spoonful of almond butter sometimes? Do I need, handfuls of almonds? Do I need to add in avocados? Do I need to add in hard cheeses? Maybe some heavy cream? So I spent a couple of days having some of those things. Definitely they make me feel better, except for the heavy cream. The heavy cream I'm not totally needing. We made ice cream one time with the heavy cream and it just didn't do it for me. I just didn't feel like I needed to have that. It didn't satiate in the way I'm kind of would want it to, but the cheese did. The cheese tasted great this time. It was really satiating. Almond butter is really helpful. I need some like kind of carnivore snacks that I can kind of pack with me so that if I leave the house and I'm starting to feel kind of icky while I'm out, that I have something I can like grab. And so I don't know, I might really look into like some sugar-free like carnivore like jerky or whatever. But if you have any ideas for that, like snacks, carnivore snacks to bring out with you, I'm really looking into that. I might make a video on that once I figure out all those things, because yeah, I'm needing some snacks so that I can live my life, so I can leave the house. So at first I was thinking, you know what, maybe I need to add some of these things back in. So I can be really, really disciplined with my eating, and I'm nervous to add any food back in. I feel like when I'm super disciplined, I'll stick with it. That's why I have liked that there's just not as many options when you're eating all meat, because it's really clear to know what I can have and what I can't have. So I've considered, do I need to add back in some kind of keto foods and be a little bit more like a ketovore than just strict carnivore? Will that work better for me? And I'm nervous. I'm nervous about adding things in. I have some friends who swear by the keto diet. They've done keto for a long time and different things, and they're still overweight. They're still big. It's like the weight did not just fall off on keto for them. Granted, I don't know exactly how they're doing the keto, but obviously there's a way to do it where you may not lose the weight. So that's why I'm kind of one step further along from keto and doing the actual carnivore, just because I watched it work for my husband, and so I'm pretty sure it'll work for me. So I have not felt ready to add other things back in, and I really still am not. So I have the almonds on hand, but I don't plan to keep eating the almonds regularly. I don't plan to keep eating the heavy cream regularly. I may keep some cheese in a little bit here and there. One thing I am going to add in though is avocados. I bought a bunch. I haven't had any yet because they are ripening right now. Because I don't like as much fatty cuts in meat, I probably do need to have the avocados in just to help me get more good fats. I'm doing a lot of butter, but I don't feel like I have enough fat in yet. So that's one change coming up this week that I am planning to do, is go ahead and put the avocados in and not worry about it. But for the most part, I'm not ready to add back all these things in yet. And so my husband and I have really been talking about what made him successful on this, and having him work with me a lot more on what I'm eating and helping me prepare things like he did and get stuff in. So one of the reasons why I chose the carnivore diet and I'm doing this is to really help me overcome a lot of different aversions I have to meat. I have a lot of texture issues. I just have a lot of issues. But what I'm realizing is it's a mindset. So my husband has been making me some steaks, and I found if they're a little bit more on the rarer side, not rare by any means, but more like medium rare versus like well done. If they're a little bit more on the rare side, they're softer and I like them and I could eat them more, right? But they've got pink on them, something I'm not used to. I'm not used to any pink at all, and it freaks me out. But he just says to me, honey, pink is just a color. It's just a color. The red is just a color. And so as long as the texture is not different in my mouth, I need to just ignore it. So it really is kind of a mindset thing. But I am a huge baby when it comes to my meat. If you're sitting here thinking, gosh, she's a baby about it, I really am, you guys. My husband literally, like for 18 years, he cooks my meat for me. I don't cook it. It freaks me out. Even my 12-year-old daughter, she loves to cook. She'll like cook some of my different meats for me. But basically all I can do is I can make eggs and I can stick my meat in the crock pot, and like anything else, it always like freaks me out. So I'm starting to learn how to change my mindset and how to be more open to it, open to different kinds of ways of cooking the meat. And so we've been really changing things up. I've been doing a lot more steak. I've been doing a lot more hamburger. I've been doing a lot more fatty pieces. I ate some ribs with fat on it. I've been upping my eggs. Like I was eating like 2 eggs for breakfast, which is what I would normally do off of the carnivore diet, but I was starving and I wasn't making the connection of, you don't have to like eat again and do another meal, like just up your amount of eggs, right? So now I'm doing 4 eggs, but even then I'm not completely full. So I'm thinking about going up to 5 or 6 eggs, and it might vary every day, but I'm needing more right now. So I definitely need to eat until I'm actually full, because I've been feeling so hungry. So my husband and I have really been working together this week and changing up some things of how I'm eating and trying to get me doing this a lot more like how he was, a lot more successfully. There's definitely been a progression. When I first started, I would literally, like, if I had like a rib, I'd take like one little tiny bite of only the meat area and like call it done. Like, that was about all I could handle. And now I can literally eat most of the meat on there and almost clean the bone. Not as clean as my husband gets it, but still it's a progress. So there's definitely been some progress happening of not being so freaked out by the meat and learning how to eat meat a lot more normally. So that's one reason why I'm doing this. It's super helpful, and I am really excited about that. So another thing, even though this video is getting really long, I have to address is my electrolytes. Some of you have been commenting on electrolytes in the comments, and I thank you for that. And I do read all of your comments. I take all of them to consideration. I do my own research. I'm a researcher, so I have to read about it and learn about it. And so I really have been reading about electrolytes for weeks now, but kind of almost just this morning, actually, I hit on the right information and it all kind of came together for me. I really became aware of how much electrolytes and supplementing like that I need to actually do that I'm not doing or getting probably on the carnivore diet. I think that is very much so a problem that I'm having. I'm not getting in enough electrolytes, and that's why I feel so lousy right now. Also, I mentioned, I don't know if it was last week or the weeks before, update how I'm having kind of like different sensation, almost like a mild loss of sensation. I called it being numb on like my skin, only on the front of my body and only on the areas with a lot of fat. And it's very curious to me. It's not any kind of like medical condition that I know of. And so I've been researching what is that, what is happening. I think I narrowed it down to my electrolytes. I think I'm feeling that feeling because I'm low in electrolytes. I think that's what's happening. And so I'm going to increase my electrolytes and really pay attention to that. I have kind of some numbers now of what I need to hit, like some measurements, and kind of really be thinking about it. And I'm going to be adding in a lot of different steps to get more of those in. Once I do, I'm going to give myself a couple of weeks and see if some of these symptoms and things go away. And if they do, then I'll make a video on what I'm doing and how I'm getting my electrolytes in. Obviously, salt intake, I think I should be having like 3 teaspoons or so a day. And if you're exercising and if you live somewhere hot, which I do this week in Arizona, it's gonna be upwards of almost 120 degrees, if you can believe that. We're used to it, but it's still hot, right? So I need at least like 3 teaspoons of salt every day, and I don't think I'm getting that much. You know, I'll salt my meat, but it's not anywhere near, you know, a teaspoon or something each time, each meal. So, you know, I can drink bone broth to get up like my potassium. I'm gonna eat the avocados because that's also gonna help get up my potassium. I have some stuff called like the Natural Calm. It's like a magnesium supplement. And I don't do that all that often. It can give you diarrhea, and so I kind of try to stay away from it, but I'm going to start supplementing with that. So there's some different things I'm going to start doing and really paying attention to, and once I have that ironed down, kind of a little regimen for myself, I'll make a video for you guys and kind of tell you what I'm doing to make sure we're getting in enough electrolytes, because I think that really is kind of my problem right now, the electrolytes and the fat, and then eating bigger or different portions and not such lean meats. I think I was getting into too many lean meats, and I really need to have the fatty cuts. One of you mentioned fat bombs in one of your comments, so I actually had to look up what those were. I don't know if they're completely like carnivore, but they're definitely keto. So if I was gonna be more ketovore, I could do like some fat bombs or some like already made fat bombs. So I am kind of looking into that, like what am I gonna be able to do to get enough fat in. These are all the things I'm kind of like studying for this week. I feel like there's so much that kind of happened. I feel like maybe I'm missing some things, but I've already talked for a really long time. So thank you guys for sticking in with me for this update. I will let you know more next week what went on. Hopefully I'm going to get myself a little bit more situated this week and start to feel better and start to kind of get a better handle on this diet. So thanks so much for joining me, you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.
I start to sail on these ocean waves. Nobody knows how to find us. It's turning out to be a perfect day. I just wanna leave our normal lives behind us. So let's get lost out here.